The Blue Ox. Written, be told by Carol Shake. History by Amy Huntington. Paul Bunyan was a giant lumberjack. He stood 63 axe handles high, give or take a handle. When Paul shouted timber and swung his axe, hundreds of trees would fall. Back at the pool in Paul's day, America was growing fast, and people needed wood to build houses and towns. Farmers needed wild land cleared so they could grow crops. Paul showed an early talent for knocking down trees. As a baby, he rolled over in his sleep one night and knocked down miles of Maine forest. He always knew he'd be a lumberjack, and soon it was time to follow his dream. I'm off to the north woods, he told his parents. Good luck, son, they said. Watch where you step. Paul got a job at the logging camp. Chopping down trees was easy, but he wished he had someone to help him haul the logs to the river. Then came the winter of the blue snow. Beautiful blue snows fell for days. Paul came across a snowdrift as big as a house for 2 hairy blue ears sticking out of it. Moo, it softly bellowed. Paul lifted those ears, and out came a sticky baby ox that had been stuck in the snow. The ox was blue and all over from the cold. Paul brought the ox back to the camp and cared for him all night. In the morning, the ox was feeling better, but he stayed blue. He licked Paul on the neck. Paul laughed. I'll call you Babe, he said. They went off the magician gun, where Paul set up his own logging camp. Babe grew like crazy and soon was so big that folks could hardly see him end to end. None of the local watering holes were big enough for Babe to drink from. Paul solved that problem by using his axe to dig the Great Lakes. Paul logging camp was filled with hundreds of lumberjacks. They were a hungry bunch, and their favorite food was pancakes. More pancakes, they all called. But the cooks couldn't make enough. Soldier Sam, the chief cook, he feared that the men would quit if they didn't get more pancakes. Don't worry, Sam, I solved this, Paul said. Paul sat and thought about the problem a while. Then he and Babe disappeared. About a week later, Babe returned to camping pulling an iron griddle. The griddle was a mile wide if it was an inch. Paul had it built in the big city. When Sam saw the griddle, his eyes nearly popped out of his head. Now you're cooking, he cried. Paul ordered a fire built under the griddle. Babe, the eager to help, drank all the water out of the lake. The cook used to empty the lake bed and as a bowl to mix the batter in. Man strapped slabs of bacon onto the birds and skated around on the griddle. When it was all greased up, the cooks poured the batter. Soon, half a million cakes were bubbling on the griddle. There was even a pipeline of cereal going straight to the tables. The lumberjacks were finally happy, and no one ever quit Paul's camp. Those pancakes was too good. When the logging was done in the one spot, Paul simply lifted the camp onto wheels, and Babe pulled it to a new place. One time, they set down their camps next to a trusty river in Wisconsin. That river was so crooked that the logs in the lumberjack set floated down would end up in an awful jam. For weeks at a time, the sawmills downriver were waiting for the logs that never came. Paul sat picking his teeth with a pine tree while he thought about the problem. Paul had Ollie, his blacksmith, Forky a giant chain. He hooked one end of the chain to Babe's harness and the other end to the twist of the river. "Pull, Babe," he commanded, and Babe pulled. Sweet pulled out Babe, but the river wouldn't budge. "Harder," Paul said. Babe grunted and pulled harder. The muscle on his neck stood out like tree roots. His legs stuck in the earth, but his belly nearly touched the ground. But that old river was crooked as ever. Then Paul saw the behind the river edge of a shovel. "It's working," he cried. Babe let out a bellow that was heard all the way to Kansas. He gave a gritty, mighty tug, causing the river to snap like a wig. Then, with a crack, it lay straight as a flagpole. Everyone cheered. Paul stuck out his chest with pride so much that his buttons popped out of his shirt. Paul and Babe went on to do many more great things. They were last seen working in the vast wilderness of Alaska. Folks up, they would say they still sometimes hear the mighty voice in the woods calling out, "Timber," followed by a rumbling moo. Goodbye, everyone. See you later. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.